Hi, welcome to the University of Dayton virtual tour. Short of visiting campus, this is the best way to get a look at what life is like here. My name's Adam. I'm a senior communication major from just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm going to be helping walk you guys around today.
And I'm Danielle. I'm a senior education and visual arts major from the St. Louis area.
Let's start the tour.
This tall red brick building behind me is Fitz Hall. It's home to our School of Education, Health, and Sport Sciences on the 6th floor. All of our music, theater, dance, and performance technology departments on the 4th floor. And the 2nd floor is the Department of Art and Design, which is my home base on campus as a visual arts major. This past summer, I actually had the opportunity to do research with one of my professors. Typically, people don't associate art with research, but I actually had the opportunity this summer to become a studio assistant for my professor, who is a practicing artist. And I also had funding to do my own research that I then presented at a summer portfolio show at the beginning of the year.
Next on tour, we're going to talk about Frericks Athletic Center. So that's actually right next door over here to your right. So that's home to our athletic offices on campus. We have 16 Division I sports. Most of their administrative offices are inside of there. That's also where our volleyball team plays. Right next to Frericks Center on the other side, we can't really see it today, is where our soccer team plays. That's on Beaujean Field. The rest of our athletics play right across the river, about a mile away from here. We have free shuttles taking students to those games before, during, and after every single one. All of our sporting events are free for students to attend, with the exception of men's basketball. That's $5 for a single game ticket. $35 for a season voucher. That works out to about $2 a game, so it's really, really affordable. Frericks Center is a very historic building on campus. We have had tons of different kinds of events there, everything from a Martin Luther King Jr. speaker event way back in 1964. Elvis Presley's performed there. We've even had ESPN College Game Day inside Frericks Center, so a ton of stuff has gone on inside of there. It's a very exciting building on campus.
So next up is our Chapel of the Immaculate Conception. The iconic blue dome behind me is a pretty recognizable building on campus. We are a Catholic Marianist university. We were founded by the Marianists in 1850, and Marianists are still very present on campus today. We have Marianist brothers, sisters, priests living and working throughout campus in all different departments. But a big focus of that Marianist heritage on campus is really community, inclusivity, and justice. We really have an emphasis on community here. Students are really encouraged to be a part of our community, whether they're Catholic or not. We have about 70% of students who identify as Catholic. The rest identify as other religions or no faith at all, but all of us are part of that same community. Inclusivity is another important aspect. We want to make sure that everyone feels welcome, whether they're taking part in campus ministry events or really anything around campus. And then lastly, social justice. We really have an emphasis on service. We have lots of opportunities for students to do service both in the Dayton area, back home in their hometowns, going for a breakout trip, service trip over spring break or Christmas break or even the summer, all the way to years of service that students often do after graduation. The building was built in 1869 but recently renovated in 2015, so let's check it out. Here in the Chapel of the Immaculate Conception, we have 4 Mass times offered on Sundays at 10, noon, 6, and 8:30 p.m. We also have weekday Mass in all of the residence halls. Each residence hall has a chapel that's open 24/7 for students to have personal reflection and worship, and also Mass once a week. We also offer other sacraments throughout the semester, including reconciliation, RCIA opportunities, and campus ministry also offers a lot of one-time opportunities like retreats, service trips, service Saturdays, and other opportunities.
Okay, so moving on from the chapel, right behind me is St. Joseph Hall. St. Joseph Hall is basically my academic home on campus. As a communication major, I've spent a ton of my time there, taken a ton of classes. That is home to all of our social sciences. So our social sciences include communication, sociology, anthropology, criminal justice, human rights, political science, all those kinds of things. So a lot of awesome research opportunities come out of St. Joseph's Hall. One other thing I would highlight is the faculty, how incredibly collaborative and encouraging and also well-connected they are. There are so many internship opportunities that come from some of our professors. We even have a former governor of Ohio, Bob Taft, on our staff as a professor in the political science department. So lots of different opportunities come with that. And I would also just highlight the tons of different kinds of experiential learning opportunities, whether it be professional fraternities related to certain majors or study abroad trips. I've gone on a study abroad trip with the communication department that I'll talk about a little bit later, but so many cool things coming out of St. Joe's, really a great place to be. So now we're in Jesse Phillips Humanities Center. Most students on campus just call this Humanities, and that's because this is where you're going to take most of your humanities courses. So as part of our Common Academic Program here at UD, which is basically our general education requirements, you're required to take some classes in those humanities areas, those being English, history, religion, and philosophy. So 4 different areas, 1 intro-level class in each of those, and then also 1 upper-level class in each of those departments. You're also going to have some other requirements in other departments. So every student on campus takes a communication course called COM 100 or Principles of Oral Communication. That's basically a civil dialogue and discourse class. So you're going to learn how to present your ideas clearly, how to listen to other people's ideas, how to compromise, all those kinds of things. Really useful skills both for your academic career here and for your professional career going forward. We also have a class called Social Science Integrated or SSC 200. That can have a ton of different topics, and it's basically examining different parts of society. Anything from dinner etiquette to existentialism, all these different kinds of things. So really a wide range of opportunities, and students can pick and choose what they want to do there. A lot of your upper level classes for the CAP program are going to be very closely tied to your major if you want them to be. For example, if you're an engineering student, you might take an engineering ethics class to count for your upper level philosophy credit. Me as a communication major, I took a class called religious rhetoric, which counted for my upper level religion credit, also counted directly toward my communication degree, and that was actually one of my favorite classes that I've taken here at UD. So lots of opportunities to be flexible with that CAP program. And the real point of Common Academic Program is being able to be a more well-rounded individual when you graduate from here, which is really going to help you, because whatever major you have here, when you graduate, you're going to work with students or with people who were students of other disciplines during their time in college. So it's going to be helpful to have a more well-rounded knowledge of all those different areas, and that's what we're trying to do here at UD. And to me, that's been really, really valuable. There are some other Common Academic Program requirements. Those are going to differ a little bit depending on what type of degree it is you're pursuing. So, for example, I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree, so I had a language requirement while I was here. You might not have that if you're an engineering student pursuing a Bachelor's of Engineering. So all these different kinds of things vary a little bit depending on what degree it is you're going toward. Rather than try to go through it all here, you can visit our website. We have our full course catalog listed there.
Outside of Humanities Center is Humanities Plaza. This is our 2nd largest green space on campus. This is a great space for students to just sit, relax between classes. You can work on homework out here. You can always stay plugged in because we have outlets and all the lamp posts. So you can charge your computer or your phone while you're out here. This is also the site of one of our largest philanthropy events throughout the year called Christmas on Campus, held every year on December 8th, which is the feast day of the Immaculate Conception in the Catholic Church. Big merriness feast day, and it's the namesake of our chapel. To celebrate, we actually cancel classes for the day, so students always have December 8th to study for finals, get ready to head home for Christmas break the next week, spend some time with their roommates, and then in the evening, campus transformed into a winter wonderland. There's a huge Christmas tree out here in Humanities Plaza that's lit at the beginning of the night. There's different events in all of the buildings, from cookie decorating, there's live reindeer, Santa comes to campus. The most fun part is that they bus in 1,000 Dayton area school children, little 1st and 2nd graders, to be a buddy with a UD student. We bring them a present, take them around campus, get them really sugared up, and then send them home to their families. It's a great event for both UD students, our Dayton community, and those little 1st and 2nd graders alike. Everyone gets to celebrate Christmas and be together as a community one more time before they head home for Christmas break.
Okay, so this brings us to Kettering Labs, or KL, right behind me. This is our engineering school on campus. So we're actually one of the top engineering schools in the country, which we're very proud of. We're the #1 Catholic institution in the country in terms of government-sponsored research and development. So lots of awesome things go on here, and also in our research institute and on our 2 research plants on campus. Both General Electric and Emerson have plants right here on our campus where they'll do a lot of groundbreaking research. Right inside of KL, for a lot of our undergraduate students, there's also a ton of awesome equipment. Everything from our flight simulator, that's the only one of its kind in North America, 1 of 5 in the entire world, to our huge maker space, to the 3D printers that are in there, all these different kinds of labs. Really provide students with anything they need here to complete whatever kind of projects they need to do. And they're very comfortable working with a lot of different kinds of technology when they graduate, which is super important, especially for whatever career they plan on going into. One thing I would highlight with our engineering students is our experiential learning opportunities. So more than 90% of our engineers do some kind of experiential learning before they graduate. That can be anything from studying abroad to doing a co-op to doing ethos, which is basically like a service/internship project abroad somewhere. So tons of opportunities, and that's one of the reasons that make our engineering program so strong.
Alumni Hall is home to a variety of out-of-class resources for students, including our University Honors Program, our Multi-Ethnic Education and Engagement Center, our Women's Center, and our Study Abroad office.
Welcome to the University of Dayton's Recreation Complex. All students here call this the Recplex, and this is really a hub for student activity for a wide variety of things. So I'm going to point out a lot of things in here. A lot of it's self-explanatory, but I'll still walk you through it. So over here to the right, this is our aquatic center. We have 8 full swim lanes in there, as well as a diving well, a whirlpool, hot tub, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you'll actually see canoes in there for our intramural battleship competition. That's really exciting, also very, very difficult. Looking over to the other side of the ramp, over here on your left, this is where our 4 full basketball courts are. These were renovated in the past couple of years, so they're very new, very nice facilities, and they have racquetball and handball courts on either side of the gymnasium area. We also have 2 more basketball courts in another gym in the back of the Recplex. Those are sometimes set up for indoor soccer or badminton, different things like that. There's also a basketball court outside and a beach volleyball court. So when it's nicer out, you'll see students out there, as well as for some of our intramural activities. If you can look around surrounding the top of the gymnasium, there's an 1/8 of a mile track. That's a great place to run if it's too rainy outside or if it's a little cold on a certain day. We also have treadmills, basically any kind of a workout equipment you could imagine upstairs. We have a 10,000 square foot workout facility that takes up the top floor of our Recplex. So really awesome facilities up there. A lot of those machines are new as well. We also have an equipment rental center on campus where you can rent out any kind of recreational equipment you might need for absolutely free. Just show your student ID and they'll give you anything from a basketball to a bike to ping pong equipment, all this kind of stuff. So that's all free, as well as your access to the rec is absolutely free. Everything in here comes included with your tuition, including the rock wall directly to your right. That's one of the more exciting parts of what you see when you first walk in here. It's on a lot of people's bucket list to try to climb to the top before they graduate from UD. So that's another fun part of campus. There are really only 2 things that would ever cost money to a student here in the Recplex. That's if you want to buy a smoothie after your workout from one of our Flyer Enterprise locations, or if you want to participate in some of our workout classes that take place upstairs. Those are $50 at the beginning of the semester for an all-access pass to as many classes as you want. Anything from Zumba to P90X to kickboxing, spin classes, all that kind of stuff. $50 is an all-access pass. The Recplex is open from 6 a.m. to midnight during the week. On the weekends, it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then during finals week, it's 24/7. So it's very accessible for students. No matter what time you want to get a workout in, the Recplex will be here for you.
Gossinger Hall is home to student development offices, which includes our Office of Housing. If you ever have any questions about roommates, your housing all 4 years at UD, that's where you would go to get those questions answered. It's also home to our counseling center. We offer mental health counseling as well as career counseling to students. So any sort of emotional support that you need while you're here at UD, we have resources available to you for no extra charge. We also have our health center in Gossinger Hall, which is a full-service health center throughout the week, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They have doctors and nurses on staff here to assist students if you're not feeling well, if you get hurt on campus. We also have a UD EMS service, so our own ambulance service that's based in the center of the student neighborhood that's completely run by students. So students actually become nationally certified EMTs and then serve campus as volunteer EMTs if students are ever hurt or sick on campus. That is another free service, so if for some reason you were sent to the hospital in our ambulance, there would not be one big bill coming in the mail a few weeks later. That's all included just to make sure that students are staying safe and healthy while they're here on campus. Welcome to Marycrest, our largest first-year residence hall. Let's go check out a student room. So this is a typical Marycrest room. All students have one roommate their first year, so you do share a room. But as you can see, there's plenty of space. Each residence hall has a little bit different shaped room. Some are a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. But everybody's gonna have the same furniture package, same amenities in all of the residence halls. So every student gets one of these bed frames that you can raise or lower to whatever height you want. A desk, desk chair, dresser, a little side table that also works as a safe. You can even lock the bottom. And then the mini fridge and the microwave come with the room. Those are included. You don't have to lug those to campus. They're here for for you whenever you get here at the beginning of the school year. They're covered under UD maintenance, so if anything ever happens to them, utilities will come and help you fix them or even replace it if needed. So it's nice that you don't have to bring those. There are tile floors in Marycrest, so most students elect to bring a rug, or you can rent one from the university and they'll place it here for you before you get here. Every single place that you could live on campus, from residence halls to suite style housing your sophomore year to apartments to all of the houses, are air conditioned. So you're never going to worry about having to bring a fan or anything like that. Everywhere that you live is going to be air conditioned and heated right inside the room. It's controllable by you and your roommate. So you only have to argue with one person over what temperature you want rather than the whole hallway.
Okay, so staying on the topic of housing, we've got Marianist Hall over here to your left. This is one of our sophomore year residence halls on campus. This is what I would call suite style living. Basically what that means is you don't have a kitchen in your room. So that's your main choice for your sophomore year, is whether you want to have a kitchen or stay on the meal plan and not have a kitchen. So in Marianist Hall, you'd still be on the meal plan. You'd be living there with 3 other roommates, and you'd have kind of a shared common area, 2 bedrooms and your own bathrooms. So that's what it looked like in Marianist. There's a couple other buildings on campus with similar housing options. For my sophomore year, I actually lived in Campus South, which is this apartment complex you can see kind of stretching over the student neighborhood over here to the right. So that's a 10-story building. That is more apartment style, meaning there are kitchens in there. So Campus South is 6-person apartments, 3 bedrooms, and your own living room area, your own bathrooms and showers, and your own full kitchen. So a really nice apartment setup. I loved my time there, but those are kind of your options for your sophomore year. Marianist Hall, like I mentioned, is a sophomore year residence hall, but there's a ton of other stuff in there too, including our interdenominational chapel. There's the bookstore, the Emporium, which is like a convenience store, sandwich shop, really great place to get a quick bite to eat, and also classrooms, learning spaces, and some tutoring hours take place inside there.
Moving on to upperclassmen housing. Here at UD, uniquely, about 90% of students live on campus all 4 years, and that's because of the student neighborhood that's behind me. In total, we have about 400 houses on campus. The majority of them are owned by the university. They all come completely furnished. All of your utilities, maintenance, all of that is covered under one flat room and board price. It's all of the convenience of living right here close to campus, having all of those utilities covered for you, but the luxury of living with some of your closest friends, next to 4,000 of your closest friends and all of the upperclassmen in the same neighborhood. This is the south side of our student neighborhood. On the other side of campus, we also have the north side of the student neighborhood. Like I said, in total, about 400 houses, all occupied by students. The houses range in size from 2 to 12 people, the largest being fraternity and sorority houses. We do have Greek life on campus. About 20% of students are involved in that. We do deferred recruitment, so you don't go through that process until second semester of your first year at the earliest, giving you some time to get to campus, get the hang of things before you decide if you want to join a Greek organization. But we don't have a requirement for you to live there your sophomore year. Typically only the senior officers live in those houses. But the majority of the houses in the neighborhood are 5 to 6 people. I live with 5 other girls this year. We're even part of a special interest house, which means that you can designate one specific interest for your house. You even get some funding to host some events and really build that community with your neighbors in the area. I live in a Marianist student community in our honors house. So we have the opportunity to work with the honors department and campus ministry to host some different events. Things like Porch Fest, little music festivals on our porch, to art prayer nights, to open mic nights, right here in our house in the student neighborhood. UD is unique having the student neighborhood and the fact that students leave class on campus and walk right back to the student neighborhood together.
So if you look over to my right, this is one of my favorite spots on campus. This is KU Field. It's right outside of KU, which is our student union. We'll get there in a minute. But KU Field is our largest green space on campus. Lots of events go on here all throughout the year. And on nice days, you'll see students out here relaxing, working on homework. This is always where I used to call my mom freshman year. So lots of awesome stuff goes on KU Field. 2 of our biggest events happen here. The first one's Culture Fest. So that's really a global event. So what that means is we have food from all over the world and cultural performances from all over the world, and that's a free event for students to come experience some of those things, which is awesome to see. We also have Up the Orgs, or Up the Organizations. That's probably the largest event that takes place on KU Field, and that's basically a student involvement festival. So we have over 270 different student clubs and organizations on campus on the first Friday of every fall semester. So right after first year students are done moving in and have their first week of classes under their belt, that's when we have that student involvement festival. So all of those clubs are going to be out here on KU Field. Everything from service clubs to sustainability clubs, club sports, Greek life will have tables, student employment opportunities. There's tons of different things out there, basically anything you could be looking for. And I encourage you to sign up for a lot of different clubs. My piece of advice that I give to a lot of students, especially first-year students, is when you get to college, make sure you sign up for at least one club that helps you keep up with something that you used to do in high school. So whether you played volleyball in high school, you want to play club volleyball here, or whether you were in student government in high school and you want to be in student government here, I encourage them to keep that interest going. I also encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, because I think that's one of the most important things you can do in college, is to get out of your comfort zone and try something new. For me, that was actually signing up to be a student ambassador, to give tours. I would have never done that kind of thing in high school. Now that I've been doing it here for 3 to 4 years, I don't know how I ever didn't. I don't know what my life would be like without being able to do this. So that's why I encourage people to get out of their comfort zone. I really think that's one of the most important things you can do to make friends, to feel comfortable at a university. And that's one of the reasons that I think it's really important that UD helps you do that starting in your very first week here on campus. They want to get you involved. And that's what Up the Orgs is all about. So this brings us to the Science Center. This is one of our largest academic buildings on campus, and it's home to most of our science and math courses and departments. So you'll spend some time in there as a UD student as part of your common academic program. This is also a great opportunity to talk about our average class size on campus. So the average class size is 27 students, which is a really healthy size. That'll mostly be for some of your lower level classes. So some of your intro level classes, those will be your larger ones. We only have 2 lecture halls on our campus. One of them is inside the Science Center. So we only have 2 lecture halls. Most of our classes are not super big. They'll be around 26, 27 students. In my personal experience, the longer I've been here, my classes have gotten smaller. So for my capstone class, which is kind of the class to cap off my major, that class is 12 students, which gave us an awesome opportunity to get to know our fellow students, to get to talk to our professors, and really made for an awesome experience. So over in the Science Center, lots of awesome research opportunities as well for students to participate in with professors if that's something they're interested in doing. And that building is just a great center for learning, kind of located in the center of our campus. This is Kennedy Union. This is our student union. It's basically our hub for activities on campus.
Right behind me is Miriam Hall, home to our School of Business. We have a lot of opportunities for our business students to get some experiential learning, including one right here on campus with Flyer Enterprises, which is our student-run company. They own 9 dining locations around campus, including a smoothie bar in the Recplex, coffee shop in the library, ice cream shop in the student union, all completely run by students, from the person scooping your ice cream all the way up to the CEO. So that's opportunity for any students, no matter what your major is, but their home base is right here in Miriam Hall. Connected to Miriam is the Anderson Center, which is home to our computer science department and our IT department.
The Reich Center is home to our Center for International Programs. It also works very closely with our Office of Education Abroad, so basically our study abroad programs. We have some amazing study abroad programs that are open to students of all majors. So no matter what you're majoring here, if you want to study abroad, if that's something your heart's set on, you're going to be able to find a way to do that. So we offer programs all throughout the year. Some of them are as short as a week, maybe over your spring break. Some of them are as long as a full year, perhaps a year-long immersion in India. Some of them are specific to a certain major. Some of them are more general education based. So there's lots of different types of programs you could be involved in. And we offer study abroad programs to every continent on Earth except for Antarctica. So really anywhere in the world you want to go, you're going to be able to go. I actually had the opportunity to study abroad my sophomore year here, the summer after my sophomore year. I went to Sydney, Australia for 6 weeks with the communication department. So 2 of our communication professors went with me. They each taught a class that counted directly toward my degree. We also had internships while we were there that counted for class credit. So for 6 weeks, I was living and working in downtown Sydney, which is one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And I think that's something that you hear pretty commonly from people who have studied abroad, is how much they loved that opportunity, because it's really one of the most rewarding and I think just one of the most cool things you can do while you're a college student. You don't get many opportunities like that once you graduate. So I just want to, as much as I can, stress to at least think about studying abroad while you're in college. And my advice would be to talk to your advisor in your first semester on campus to figure out when the best time to do that would be.
So we just entered Resch Library, which is our undergraduate library here on campus. It's actually 7 stories tall, and we operate on a sound system, so it gets quieter as it goes up. So we're actually on a noisy floor right now, which means that students down here can talk at normal levels, have conversations, and not worry about disrupting anyone. If you need silence to study, you would head up to the 5th or 6th floor, which are completely silent for students who really need to kind of zone in, write a paper, work on an assignment. There's always going to be a spot in the library that works for you. You'll also notice that there's a lot of different kinds of seating inside the library. Before they did a renovation about a year ago, they actually did a furniture petting zoo where they allowed students to try out different kinds of furniture and pick their favorite ones. They chose the top few that students chose, and that's what you're going to see in the library here for students to study. So you'll see lots of different stools and tables and chairs, even little booths upstairs, so students can find the best spot to focus and really study in the library. There's also plenty of opportunities for huddle rooms or study rooms for students to check out online with their student ID number. They can meet in those rooms to work on a group project, write a paper, have a meeting for their organization, and those are all available for students as long as the library is open from 7 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single day. And they only close for a few hours in the morning for cleaning. Besides that, students are here studying and working on papers, kind of having this comfortable space to work throughout the year.
To finish up the tour, one of the last and most important things I want to talk about is public safety. The University of Dayton takes safety for its students very, very seriously. That's one of the reasons I feel very safe here on campus. We have a lot of different initiatives to help promote safety of students, and I'll run through some of those. So we have 30 private UD public safety officers. What that means is our public safety police officers are on the University of Dayton staff. They're not City of Dayton police, they're our own police force. They each undergo about 560 hours or more of training before they're allowed to be a campus police officer, so they're very prepared to face any situations they might face. They're around the student neighborhood and around campus 24/7. There's usually at least 3 of them on patrol, and sometimes there's a little bit more depending on the time of day, things like that. So they're always very accessible in case they're ever needed, and they're based right on campus, so they can be anywhere they need to be very quickly. We also have blue light systems on campus, so you may have seen some of the towers we were walking around today. There is one down by the visitor station over to your right. It might be tough to see right now. But those directly connect you to our public safety office. So if you press that button, even if you just need directions on campus, if you feel like you're in some kind of emergency, that'll connect you directly to them, and then they know exactly where you are right away because they know which blue light station you press the button at. So that's another awesome public safety service. The last one I want to touch on is called Flyer Ride. It's basically how I describe it as a free ride sharing service. So it's kind of like Uber, except it's run by our university. The drivers are all UD students, and they're driving UD vehicles, and they can pick up a student from anywhere on campus and take them to anywhere else on campus for absolutely free. So if it's late at night, or if it's raining, or if it's super cold and you don't want to walk somewhere by yourself, give Flyer Ride a call. They'll come pick you up and take you where you need to go for free. So thank you for coming along today with Danielle and I on your video tour. We hope you enjoyed it and learned some valuable information, and we hope to see you on campus soon for a real visit.
If you have any further questions at this point, feel free to email us at tourguides@udayton.edu or find more information on our website about how to contact our office.